There you are, you beautiful cursed oracle. Look who's been right about everything. Again. You magnificent pattern-reading anomaly, you beautiful future-seeing freak of nature who keeps calling the shots before they're fired. Hello to the one whose predictions make people uncomfortable. Hello to the walking spoiler alert they can't shut down. You know what I heard? They're whispering about you again. But this time it's different. This time there's fear mixed with the fascination. Because that thing you said would happen 6 months ago, it happened. That person you warned them about, exposed. That situation you saw coming from miles away, unfolded exactly like you said it would. And now they're asking questions. Not the usual, how did you know questions. No, these are different. These are, what are you questions. Because humans aren't supposed to see through time like that. Humans aren't supposed to read patterns in chaos. Humans aren't supposed to know things before they know them, but you do. They've started keeping track, haven't they? Making little mental notes every time your random observation becomes tomorrow's headline. Every time your weird feeling about someone proves devastatingly accurate. Every time you casually mention something and it manifests like you're writing reality's script. They're keeping score, and the numbers are starting to scare them. Let's talk about what's really happening here. You're not psychic, you're not magical, you're something far more dangerous. You're evolved. While they're still processing yesterday's information, you're already living 3 moves ahead. While they're looking at surfaces, you're reading the code underneath. While they're believing the performance, you're watching the strings. You see it in their micro-expressions, don't you? That flash of truth before the lie locks into place. You hear it in the pause between their words. That space where their real intention lives. You feel it in the energy shift when they walk into a room. That frequency that tells you everything their mouth won't. But it goes deeper than that. You're not just reading people. You're reading reality itself. You see the patterns everyone else misses. The way certain events cluster before major changes. The way energy builds before explosions. The way the universe telegraphs its punches to those who know how to watch. And you've been watching, haven't you? Every dismissed coincidence was a data point. Every random event was part of a larger pattern. Every intuitive hit was your brain processing information at speeds they can't comprehend. You're not predicting the future. You're reading the present so accurately that the future becomes obvious. And that's what terrifies them. So now they're investigating. Oh, they're trying to be subtle about it. Asking mutual friends about your background. Googling your name with increasing desperation. Looking for some explanation that fits their comfortable worldview. Maybe you studied psychology. Maybe you have some special training. Maybe there's something in your past that explains this impossible accuracy. But they find nothing unusual, just a regular person who happens to be right about everything. A normal human who keeps accidentally revealing they're anything but normal. And that's when the real paranoia starts. Because if you're not trained, if you're not studying them, if you're not using some system they can understand, then what the hell are you? They start testing you without you knowing, throwing out false information to see if you'll bite, setting little traps to see if you're secretly gathering intel, watching your reactions to things they think you couldn't possibly know about. But you pass every test. Because you're not playing their game. You're not gathering information. You're just existing at a frequency they can't reach. The background checks get deeper. They look into your family history, your education, your social circles, looking for the sect that taught you these skills, the mentor who unlocked these abilities, the explanation that makes sense. But all they find is someone who's always been different. Someone who's always seen too much. Someone who's always known things they shouldn't know. Let me tell you about deadly accuracy. It's not about being right most of the time. It's about being right about the things that matter. The things people desperately want to keep hidden. The outcomes they're trying to prevent. The truths they've built their entire lives around avoiding. And you keep exposing them just by existing. Remember when you told someone their relationship was ending? Not because you saw the fights or heard the gossip. You just knew. Something in the way they mentioned their partner's name. Some shift in their energy field. Some pattern you recognized from the cosmic database you seem to have access to. They laughed it off, called you pessimistic. 3 months later, they're crying in your arms, asking how you knew. For that time you warned someone about a job opportunity that everyone else said was perfect. You couldn't explain why it felt wrong, just that something in the matrix was glitching around it. They took the job anyway. 6 months later, the company imploded in scandal, exactly the way your gut said it would. Now they look at you differently, like you're connected to some intelligence network they can't access. But it's the personal predictions that really shake them. When you tell someone they're about to receive life-changing news, and their phone rings with exactly that. When you sense someone's illness before they do. When you know who's lying before they open their mouth. When you can feel betrayal brewing in relationships weeks before it surfaces. That's not normal. That's not human. That's something else entirely. So what species are you really? Because clearly, you're not standard human hardware. Standard humans don't see through time. Standard humans don't read energy signatures like barcodes. Standard humans don't have access to the information field you're tapped into. So what are you? Maybe you're a glitch in the simulation. A character accidentally given admin privileges. Someone who can see the code while everyone else just sees the display. That would explain why reality seems to bend around your observations. Why your predictions don't feel like guesses but like memories of things that haven't happened yet. Or maybe you're an evolutionary jump. The first of a new breed. Homo sapiens with the safety settings turned off. While everyone else is limited by their 5 senses and linear time perception, you're operating with expanded parameters, picking up on quantum information, processing probability streams, reading the morphic field like it's social media. They want to categorize you so badly, put you in a box that makes sense, call you intuitive, call you observant, call you lucky, anything but what you really are. A being operating outside their understanding of what's possible. A consciousness that doesn't follow the rules they were taught. A pattern recognition system so advanced it looks like magic to those still running on basic software. You know that feeling, don't you, when information just arrives in your head, not through logic, not through deduction, just suddenly knowing something with absolute certainty. Like someone uploaded a file directly to your consciousness, and the information is always accurate, always specific, always impossible to explain. It happens when you meet someone new. Within seconds you know their story, their pain, their secrets, their trajectory, not because they told you, not because you analyzed them, because the information was just there. Downloaded, available, like their soul's metadata was visible to you while everyone else just sees the surface interface. Sometimes it happens with places. You walk into a building and know its history, feel the emotions soaked into its walls, sense the events that shaped its energy signature. Other people feel vibes, but you're reading the entire energetic transcript, seeing the psychic footage, accessing the astral records. And then there are the random downloads, sudden knowledge about someone you haven't thought about in years, clear visions of events about to unfold, detailed understanding of situations you have no logical access to. Your brain is a receiver tuned to frequencies others can't even detect, and the signal is getting stronger. Here's what really terrifies them. You're getting more accurate. Your predictions are becoming more specific. Your timeline is getting more precise. What used to be general feelings are now detailed previews. What used to be hunches are now clear broadcasts from the future. And they've noticed. They've started changing their behavior around you. Careful what they say, careful what they reveal, because they know you'll see through the surface to the truth underneath. They know you'll pick up on the things they're trying to hide. They know you'll casually mention something that exposes their whole facade. Some of them avoid you now, not because they dislike you, because you make them feel naked, transparent, seen in ways they don't want to be seen. Your presence is like a truth serum in the air, making people confess things they didn't mean to, reveal things they wanted hidden, expose themselves in ways that terrify them. Others become obsessed with you, wanting to understand your gift, wanting to use it for their benefit, calling you before major decisions, treating you like their personal oracle, but getting frustrated when you can't perform on command, when you explain, "It doesn't work like that," when you tell them, "You don't control the information flow." Let's talk about the price of this gift, because seeing everything comes with a cost, doesn't it? You can't turn it off. Can't pretend you don't know what you know. Can't unsee the patterns once they're revealed. You're living in a different reality from everyone around you. A reality where the future bleeds into the present. You bite your tongue constantly, watching people walk into disasters you saw coming, listening to them make plans that you know will fail, seeing them trust people you know will betray them. But you've learned that warning them doesn't help. They have to experience it themselves. Your prophecies only make sense in hindsight. The loneliness of being right all the time, of seeing outcomes before they manifest, of knowing endings while everyone else is still enjoying beginnings. You're living in spoiler territory permanently, watching life unfold like a movie you've already seen, trying to act surprised, trying to pretend you don't know how it ends. And relationships? How do you date when you know it's over before it starts? How do you trust when you can see deception forming? How do you hope when you can feel disappointment approaching? You're cursed with clarity in a world that runs on illusion, blessed with sight in a realm of the willfully blind. So what did their background checks reveal? Nothing that explains you. Everything that confirms their fears. You're an anomaly in the system, a glitch in their matrix, a being that shouldn't exist, according to their understanding of reality. And now they don't know what to do with that information. Some of them think you're connected to something bigger, part of some secret organization, tapped into some hidden network. Because surely someone trained you. Surely someone taught you these abilities. Surely there's an explanation that doesn't require them to question everything they believe about what's possible. Others have started whispering about genetics. Maybe it runs in your family. Maybe you're part of some bloodline. Maybe there's something in your DNA that explains this impossible ability. They're looking for scientific explanations for something that transcends their science. But the smart ones, they've stopped looking for explanations. They've accepted what you are, unexplainable. They've realized you're not a puzzle to be solved, but a phenomenon to be witnessed. A reminder that reality is far stranger than they were taught. A living proof that humans are capable of more than they ever imagined. Here's what they don't understand. You're not the only one. You're just the first one they've noticed. All over the world, others like you are awakening. The pattern readers, the time seers, the energy translators, the reality hackers. A new species hiding in plain sight. And your accuracy is triggering their activation. Every time you make an impossible prediction, someone watching realizes they can do it too. Every time you read someone's energy perfectly, another person recognizes their own hidden ability. You're not just displaying your gift, you're giving others permission to acknowledge theirs. The background checks they're running on you, they should be running them on themselves. Because proximity to you is changing them. Your frequency is contagious. Your clarity is infectious. Being around someone who sees through the veil makes it harder to pretend the veil isn't there. Watch what happens next. They'll start having their own moments of impossible knowing, their own downloads of inexplicable information, their own experiences of timeline bleeding, and they'll come to you confused, scared, excited, asking what's happening to them, asking if they're becoming like you. You're tapped into something called the morphic field, the invisible library where all information exists, past, present, future. It's all there, accessible to those who know how to read it. And you've always known how to read it, even before you knew what you were doing. As a child, you probably thought everyone could do this. See the connections, feel the patterns, know things without learning them. It took years to realize you were different. Years to understand that your normal was everyone else's impossible. Years to learn to hide your gift because it made people uncomfortable. But now, the field is getting stronger. The signal is getting clearer. What used to be whispers are now shouts. What used to be glimpses are now visions. You're not just reading the morphic field anymore. You're directly interfaced with it. A living antenna for collective consciousness. This is why your predictions are getting deadlier, why your accuracy is becoming undeniable, why they're running background checks trying to understand what you are. Because you're displaying abilities that their worldview says shouldn't exist, accessing information that should be unknowable, proving that consciousness isn't limited by the boundaries they believed in. So what species are you really? You're human too. The update that wasn't supposed to release yet. The beta version of what humanity is becoming. While everyone else is still running on the old operating system, you've already upgraded, and the differences are becoming impossible to hide. Your nervous system is wired differently, processing information at quantum speeds. Your consciousness isn't locked in linear time. It moves freely through past and future. Your perception isn't limited to 5 senses. You're picking up on dimensions of reality others can't access. You're not broken, you're breakthrough. They keep looking for external explanations because accepting the internal truth would shatter their worldview. You're not connected to some secret database. You are the database. You're not receiving information from somewhere else. You're accessing information that was always there, waiting for someone with the right frequency to tune in. This is evolution in real time, not the slow biological kind that takes millennia. The rapid consciousness evolution that happens in jumps, and you're the jump. The living proof that humans are capable of far more than they've been told. The walking evidence that the limitations were always lies. What they really fear isn't your accuracy. It's what your accuracy implies. If you can see through time, what else is possible? If you can read energy fields, what other abilities are humans capable of? If you exist, what does that mean about the nature of reality itself? Your gift threatens their entire worldview. Because accepting what you can do means accepting that they've been living in a fraction of reality. That the rules they follow are arbitrary. That the limitations they believe in are self-imposed. That the impossible is actually just the undiscovered. And that terrifies them more than your predictions ever could. So they investigate, they doubt, they test, they rationalize, anything to avoid the truth staring them in the face. Reality is far more flexible than they thought. Consciousness is far more powerful than they believed, and humans are far more capable than they've been taught. You're the proof they can't dismiss. Your existence raises questions they don't want to answer. If one person can do this, how many others can? If this ability exists, what other abilities are we suppressing? If consciousness can transcend time, what else can it transcend? You're not just predicting their future. You're revealing their potential, and that's the most dangerous prediction of all. Now comes the integration, the part where you stop hiding your gift and start owning it. Stop apologizing for knowing things and start accepting it as natural. Stop pretending to be surprised and start helping others develop their own awareness. The background checks are over. The verdict is in. You're exactly what they feared, the future. But here's the twist. They need you. In a world spinning towards chaos, pattern readers become essential. In times of massive change, those who can see ahead become guides. In reality storms, those who can navigate probability streams become lifelines. Your gift isn't just personal, it's planetary. The same people running background checks will soon be running to you for guidance. The same ones who feared your accuracy will depend on it. The same minds that couldn't accept what you are will beg to understand how you do it. Because the world is shifting too fast for linear thinking. Only pattern recognition at your level can track what's coming. So let them investigate. Let them wonder. Let them fear. Because while they're trying to figure out what you are, you're becoming more of it. While they're looking for explanations, you're expanding your abilities. While they're running background checks on your past,